Hey everyone, real quick before we dive into today's video, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you struggle with your mindset or some of the habits that you have? Or are you currently seeking to learn and grow and getting as much personal development in your life as possible but don't know where to begin? If that sounds like you or someone you know, please send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Or you can email me at chris.mccarthy@genesis2revelations.com. And I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you to see where I can help you. With that, let's jump into today's video. What is up, everybody? What is going on today? So today we're going to be getting into 10 signs you might have a fear of failure. So let's jump into it. The following are not official diagnosis, but if you feel that these criteria are very characteristic of you, very being an important distinguishing marker, since we all feel these things to some extent, you might want to examine the issue further, either by doing more reading about it, or talking to a mental health professional, or maybe possibly journaling. So let's jump into it. Number 1, failing makes you worry about what other people think about you. I know a lot of people have this fear. I had this fear at one time. And the simple fact is you can't please everyone. Not everyone's going to like you. And that's a fact. You could be the nicest person on earth and somebody still is going to find a way to not like you. Number 2, failing makes you worry about your ability to pursue the future you desire. We are our own worst enemy. When it comes to things like this, fear holds us back from really using our abilities to the best and making the future that we want possible. Number 3, failing makes you worry that people will lose interest in you. Again, back to the whole thing. Not everyone's going to like you. Eventually, people may move on from you. That's just a simple fact. Maybe they've gotten the information they need from you or the help that they need and they're moving on. Don't take it personal. Number 4, failing makes you worry about how smart or capable you are. Again, falls back to our own worst enemy. We judge our self-worth, our value. We are smart, we are capable. We just hold ourselves back. You can learn and do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. Number 5, failing makes you worry about disappointing people whose opinion you value. I know I've had this failure work up in my mind, and sometimes it has to do with my wife, sometimes it has to do with my daughter, my parents. We all want to make people look at us in a different light, especially people who we value their opinion. Those people that are in your life that you value, a lot of the times they're still going to love you and they're still going to admire you even if you fail. In fact, they might admire you more if you fail and continue and keep working and keep striving to do better. Number 6, you tend to tell people beforehand that you don't expect to succeed in order to lower their expectations. I've done this. I know a lot of people have done this, and it's a way to kind of be like, well, if it happens, it happens. I don't want you to think or get too excited about it because then you'll be really let down. And this kind of goes back to the other one. Don't cut yourself short because you're already putting yourself in a position to fail by just saying that you don't expect things to work out. Number 7, once you fail at something, you have trouble imagining what you could have done differently to succeed. Imagine if every great inventor thought this way. Do you know how many inventions we would have never had because they give up after the first try? Do you know how many athletes would have never won championships if they would have quit after the first game they lost? Do you know how many people would have never been successful at things in life if they would have given up after the first attempt? You have to realize that failure is a learning experience. Failure teaches you what you didn't do right. Number 8, you often get last-minute headaches, stomach aches, or other physical symptoms that prevent you from completing your preparation. Now, I get it. We do get physical ailments because we worry and stress so much about failure. What you have to realize is this is not healthy for you. You have to learn to control your body and the way it feels when it comes to fear. And when you do, you'll realize that you're going to stop getting these headaches and stomach aches. You may still feel some uneasiness. You may still feel butterflies in your stomach, and that's okay. Everyone still has that, even the people that have learned to control it. Number 9, you often get distracted by tasks that prevent you from completing your preparation, which, in hindsight, were not as urgent as they seemed at the time. Now, there's a TED Talk that, I forget the guy's name, but he talked about the procrastination monster and how it loves to rear its head when you need to get something done. I know I've had it. I've had the procrastination monster come up lots of times. And it's funny how the simplest objects become very entertaining. I remember in high school doing homework, and I would play with a pen or a pencil out of nowhere because all of a sudden it was way more entertaining than doing calculus. But it's easy to be distracted. So you have to recognize that and turn yourself back to what you need to do at hand. And number 10, you tend to procrastinate and run out of time to complete your preparation adequately. This is something that kind of goes back to number 9. You will find ways to procrastinate, to not get stuff done. And then you're like, well, I ran out of time. That's why I couldn't do it. I didn't fail because of this. I failed because I ran out of time. And you try to make excuses for why you failed. Own it. You failed. What are you going to do to succeed next time? So what do we do when we have a fear of failure? Well, there's 2 things we can do. The primary problem with addressing fear of failure is that it tends to operate on a conscious level. For example, you might feel it essential to finish writing out your Christmas cards because you promised to send them off by the end of the weekend, even though you need to finish your final exam studies. Like I said with the thing for me in high school, playing with a pencil was so much more fun than finishing my calculus homework. So what can we do when we have the fear? Well, here's the 2 things that I was going to talk about. Number 1, own the fear. The fear is real. Fear is not going anywhere. Fear is hardwired into our brains. Fight or flight. It's there to keep us safe. But nowadays, we have so many irrational fears that it's important to accept the fact that failure makes you feel both fear and shame, and to find trusted others whom you can discuss these feelings. Bringing these feelings to the surface can help you prevent from expressing them through unconscious efforts to sabotage yourself. And getting reassurance and empathy from trusted others can bolster your feelings of self-worth while minimizing the threat of disappointing them. So maybe you have a parent or maybe you have a friend that you can talk to about these fears to really get that assurance. Or maybe you can journal about them. Maybe you trust yourself to be able to journal and get these fears out on paper and understand that you're going to try to sabotage yourself. How can you stop that? And second, focus on aspects in your control. Identify aspects of the task or preparation that are in your control and focus on those. Brainstorm ways to reframe aspects of the task that seem out of your control such that you regain control of them. For example, if you failed to find work because you just don't know the right people, set the goal of expanding your network by going through your address book, your Facebook, and your other social media contacts and reaching out to everyone you know who might help. Even if they are not in your field, they might know someone who is. This goes back to the expression of where there is a will, there is a way. If you really want to make something happen, you will find the way to make it happen. If you don't, you won't. It's as simple as that. There's lots of things outside of your control, like finding the right person may be outside your control. But if you implore into, looking into yourself and finding strategies and solutions, like reaching out to other people who may know somebody, a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know. I know some of you know that one. So when it comes to a certain issue or problem that you may not know, maybe you know somebody who can help you with it. Or maybe you know somewhere you can find the answer. Or maybe you can go search for the answer through the internet or through other people. There's a million ways to solve a problem. It's just we sometimes have the fear of failing, of finding that problem. We have the fear of asking for someone's help and them telling us no. So, number 1, own the fear. Number 2, focus on aspects in your control. Too many times we focus on things we can't control. But there's a lot of things we can control. Focus on those. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. What was the most useful information to you in this? Really think about that and kind of take into account everything that was said. If you have to, go back and watch the video again. There was a lot of information there, I know. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. And I hope you have a wonderful day.